Hey peeps, welcome back. All right, so this video is totally different. Normally I don't bring up politics at all on this channel because we talk reality TV. It's our escape away from our normal lives. It's when we don't have to think about anything serious and we just laugh and joke and, vent about some of the craziness that goes on in the housewives. But this mayor/town supervisor who likes to call herself the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, has really crossed so many lines that I felt I had to talk about it. I went down the rabbit hole learning about this woman. I absolutely feel terrible for the people of Dolton, for the Thornton Township Village. I am truly sorry for these townspeople. This woman has come into their town and taken them from a surplus of over $5 million and has drained them to a negative $3.6 million. They are down so bad that they are going to have to lay people off. They're also going to have to borrow money from another fund that is not supposed to be touched in order to pay some of their employees. This lady has taken this too far. Check this out and I'll be back.
Dolton, Illinois, the median income is $24,000 a year, and yet the mayor collects more than 10 times that amount from various elected positions. And as we found, a paycheck isn't the only perk. In south suburban Dolton, the economic challenges run deep.
We still have areas that need trees cut, streets paved, alleys paved, sidewalks fixed. It's a lot of that going on.
And a lot that's being spent, not on critical repairs, but on travel, meals, and more by many top village officials.
It's an issue. It's been an issue for some time.
We just look up and we're paying for stuff. And it just makes no sense. She's just doing what she wants to do.
She is Mayor Tiffany Henyard. In addition to leading Dolton, she also serves as supervisor of Thornton Township. You make almost $300,000 between your two elected positions.
I do not. I don't know where you got that number from.
We got it from her own village and township records.
These are tax dollars.
So is the money being spent on village credit cards. WGN Investigates obtained copies of statements that reveal village officials have spent more than $24,000 at restaurants in just 1 year, including this Midlothian barbecue joint and a South Holland sub shop. Other questionable expenses include the streaming service Hulu, flights to Texas, Alabama, and Missouri, and hotel rooms in nearby suburbs, including Madison and Elk Grove Village, plus thousands of dollars spent at a hotel in downstate Pontiac.
My take is this: if they are going to something that's going to benefit the village, that's fine. But from my standpoint of view, these things don't benefit the village at all.
And then there are the trips to Las Vegas. Mayor Henyard and other top officials traveled to Sin City in May to attend a shopping center conference. It's unclear if it helped Dolton land any deals.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Actually, yes. The credit card records do shed some light on tax dollars spent at several restaurants near the Strip, including Cafe Hollywood and Hot and Juicy Crawfish.
All right, any other questions?
So you're not going to answer how taxpayer dollars are being spent? That seems odd.
I just answered it. What do you mean? I just answered your questions.
You said you wouldn't answer about Las Vegas.
You asked me a question and I responded. So any other questions you may have?
They may have signed up for a conference, but they never bring anything back. So we have no idea why they go to these trips.
Remember, we mentioned Henyard was also supervisor at Thornton Township. WGN Investigates obtained copies of that agency's credit card statements as well. They show township taxpayers also spent money on the Vegas trip, on everything from steak dinners to hotels, and $3,741 just on Henyard's round-trip flight.
But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down.
When trustees refused to pay a big block of bills this week, the mayor accused them of putting vital city services in jeopardy.
We need receipts to understand what's going on.
We couldn't help but notice the red hat perched in front of Mayor Henyard throughout the meeting. It's from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which, by the way, was apparently a stop on the Vegas trip. $303 billed to Thornton Township taxpayers.
Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dolton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dolton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dolton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official. And we've learned the FBI has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dolton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dolton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dolton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign. Tiffany Henyard certainly isn't shy about attracting attention. Here she is starting a Dolton Village Board meeting dressed like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City, later punctuating her political points with the help of her own DJ.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ.
All right, so if you think that's bad, it gets worse. But here's one of my issues. First of all, she makes almost $300,000 a year in these 2 different positions. It seems to me if the average citizen of Dolton makes $24,000, she is really living high on the hog. But not only are you living high on the hog, you are actually robbing these people. I'm disgusted. These people are hard-working, salt-of-the-earth people. They don't deserve this. Another thing that I thought was weird is even though she's the mayor, she had been arrested before. She was arrested in 2016. It was a criminal trespassing charge or something like that. I mean, it's not a huge charge, but you would think, how in the hell are you the mayor? But then you have to think about Marion Barry. You know, he got busted smoking crack and went to jail, you know, went to rehab, you know, came back. He was still the mayor. Anyway.
Cassandra Elston has been the assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Elston has been critical of Henyard's spending at the township and believes getting kicked out is political payback.
But this is not going to stop me. This is my job. This is what I get paid to do.
She's the assessor. She invited us inside.
And that's when township security officers stepped in.
Okay. So you're refusing to leave? Yes.
South Holland police were called to the scene, and they agreed with us that the assessor had every right to invite us into her office.
The news crew is here to do an interview on me.
Does Tiffany Henyard have any right to do this?
Not only Tiffany Henyard, but nobody has any right to do this to a separate elected official like the assessor.
The assessor's lawyer, Bert Odelson, tells me they plan to file a lawsuit in Cook County demanding she get her office back.
It is extremely illegal.
You can do and say pretty much what you want to say or do to me. But when you start doing things that affects the taxpayers, that's why I draw the line.
After we finished the interview, somebody deactivated the key fobs for all of the assessor's employees, meaning now none of them can get into the office. So tomorrow they plan to set up tables and chairs here outside Township Hall to meet the public. For the past 8 years, Darren Bosley has organized an annual car show here in the parking lot of Needles Park in Dolton. But after paying $1,000 to the Park District for this year's permit, Bosley got an unexpected call last Wednesday from Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's top assistant,
saying that the show would be shut down, but if I move my event to her location on Greenwood, that I would be fine.
Did you take that as a threat?
Yes, I took that as bullying.
Sure enough, when Bosley showed up at the park Saturday morning, he found that giant concrete barricades had been placed at the entrance, and Dolton police were threatening to tow any cars that parked there.
We're talking about two different governments. We're talking about the park government versus the village government.
Dolton Park District President Cleo Jones says Mayor Henyard has no legal authority over Park District property and believes she didn't want the competition to hurt attendance at her own event, a house music festival a few blocks away.
So I'm not sure what her tactics were other than trying to bully us and push us away, but that's not going to happen here.
What would you say to the mayor about this?
Get your life together, get your act together. This is wrong for people that spend money with the Park District to try to throw an event, peaceful event, fine event, and it's good for the community, but you're taking that away from everybody.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug house or something.
A team of Dolton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully, nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dolton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're going to lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half dozen people, including business owners, a former Dolton employee, and an elected official, as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the two bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dolton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dolton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to donate, make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation.
All right, so the retaliation piece. So if the people of the town are not supporting her campaign, out working for her, or giving donations, she's not giving them their permits and their licenses to do the things that they need to do. At one point, she fined a park representative $1,000 because he was putting down fresh mulch at the local park for the children. This is something that he does every single year. Not only does he put down the fresh mulch, occasionally every couple years, he also puts in new playground equipment. He says that she told him he does not have a permit to do this. However, he works for the Dolton Park District. He is not in her jurisdiction. This has absolutely nothing to do with her. This is Park District business. Why the hell are you targeting this man for trying to make the park safer for the children by putting down fresh mulch? For trying to upgrade their equipment so that the children can play on the damn swings and slides without needing a tetanus shot? What do you have against the children? This is a bunch of bull. I'm sick of her. The one restaurant owner says that she put him out of his restaurant, won't give him his permits because he's actually doing catering jobs for the trustees that want her to be held responsible. So you are affecting this man's livelihood because he is doing a job he was hired to do. The two different bars that she has been targeting, because these bars will not contribute money to her fund, is absolutely ridiculous. And I have to say allegedly, but it was on their local news. They feel that they are being targeted because they did not give her a donation. I absolutely believe those people. The young man who says that he always has a car show every year, and when he got ready to have his car show, she tried to move the location of his annual car show because it was too close to her house music concert that she was trying to throw, and she didn't want his crowd to, I guess, take over her crowd, or for the people to see his car show and stop there first or something. That is an abuse of power. That is absolutely an abuse of power. Or the fact that they are a small town with a small police force, and she's taking up half the police force for her own security detail that she does not require. And when the last chief of police told her that he didn't feel comfortable having all of his police guarding her 24 hours a day when it's not necessary because it's leaving the town vulnerable, she fires this guy and hires some other cop who eventually got fired. This guy gets fired because he is actually collecting overtime that he is not approved to get. When you are the interim chief of police, you don't get overtime. But it just so happens, just in this year, he received over $96,000 in overtime. So not only was he let go by the trustees, he also has been recently indicted for bankruptcy fraud. Allegedly, he was lying on his bankruptcy forms. And according to some sources, they are saying that the FBI is most likely going to try to flip him to use him as a witness against her. She also has several cases of wrongful termination. The trip that they took to Las Vegas, where they were out there spending money as if they were some sort of high rollers on the backs of the people of Dolton. One of her board trustees allegedly took advantage and SA'd one of her other employees while in Las Vegas. Allegedly, he was so drunk, he reached out to one of the police officers. Oh, did I tell you she takes her police officers with her? Can you believe it? Anyway, this trustee calls one of those police officers to inform him of, what he's doing. He just recently had the sex. And the police officer records the FaceTime call and has all the information right there. When they went to the said super mayor, which is what she calls herself, she told them that if this got out, this would ruin her career and all the progress that she's made in the city of Dolton, and she would handle it. What did she do? She didn't handle it. So the woman who was SA'd, once she told her about her situation, she was placed on medical leave. The lady said that she did not ask to be on medical leave. They put her on medical leave, and then shortly after that, she was terminated. The officer that went with her to file the complaint says that he was demoted to patrol duty. So now they are both suing, and they are both asking for back pay, front pay, and punitive damage, plus their attorney fees. This is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. So she has other employees that are filing cases against her for wrongful termination. All of the former employees state that they were fired because the mayor was asking them to do things that were unethical, like withholding building permits and business license from people who did not donate to her campaign or just people she didn't like in general.
Yeah, it was yet another chaotic village board meeting here in Dolton last night. But during that meeting, a lot of people noticed a couple unfamiliar faces sitting directly next to Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Well, we've done some digging and we've found out who those unfamiliar faces are. They're both criminal defense attorneys that have been hired by the mayor.
Okay, you out of order. You need to remove her. Remove her.
Another wild night at the Dolton Village Board, with a handful of residents being ejected for shouting at the mayor, who also continues to do battle with the majority of the village trustees.
People that say things about me, I want you to prove it. Because, like I said, fact versus fiction. So you got us into this mess, and now we're trying to salvage what we can to get out.
Sitting at the mayor's side, in a place usually reserved for the village attorneys, two unfamiliar faces. This is Chicago federal criminal defense attorney Beau Brindley, along with his law partner Ed McDavid. The website for Brindley's law firm says, "Results matter, aggressive criminal defense." The two criminal lawyers sat next to Henyard the entire meeting and even went into the board's closed executive session. Henyard is at the center of an ongoing FBI corruption investigation.
I didn't know them. A lot of my board members, they didn't know them either. We didn't know who they were.
Dolton trustee Brittany Norwood told us today she's concerned taxpayers may wind up footing Henyard's criminal defense.
Our biggest fear is that she's going to use them for her criminal defense attorney and that the village is going to pay for it.
Watching as this village being ran into the ground by this woman is pissing me off.
The fact that you would even make us get up out of our chairs after we've already sat down and got comfortable to even go back through a metal detector because you wasn't here on time to say that, oh, that they shouldn't have been let in. No, you should have been here to let us in.
This village deserves so much more than what it's getting. From an outsider looking in, y'all are being hoodwinked, bamboozled.
People that say things about me, I want you to prove it. Because, like I said, fact versus fiction.
We don't want you here. You or your administration. Y'all need to go.
Mayor, you might as well step down too. Because I'm tired of that too. This is a disgrace that you have done to this village.
Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a village trustee who's not named are at the center of an investigation by the Illinois Department of Human Rights. The probe is focused on what allegedly happened on an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. Henyard's former assistant who filed this complaint claims she was sexually assaulted by an unnamed Dolton trustee on that trip. She claims she was then later fired from her job. In a statement, the village told NBC5 it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say this is nothing more than a disgruntled village employee trying to make off with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars.
And all those signs that she's got all over the town, she's papering the whole town with all kinds of billboards and signage about her. Some of those signs and billboards are costing over $22,000 of the people's money. Over $67,000 that she spent on travel. Globe-trotting across America doing absolutely nothing. Not to mention, she put her hairstylist and makeup artist as her personal assistant. When the news went and called him, they said, "Are you Mayor Tiffany Henyard's personal assistant?" And he said, "No, I'm her stylist." And he had been paid $47,000 of the people's money. For a small town and a village township, you need to have $47,000 worth of hair and makeup. This is disgusting.
So what happens now? Is there any chance that the mayor's actually going to get ousted?
Well, we tried to recall her, and it was a legal technicality the reason why the appellate court would not overturn the ruling for her to be recalled. So therefore, we have to wait until the next election or until the feds come and get her. And so hopefully the feds will come first.
In a special board meeting tonight, Dolton trustees voting to investigate controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard. This comes as we have learned federal agents are investigating her and allegations of corruption.
Our Elizabeth Matthews was inside that heated board meeting. She's live in Dolton. Elizabeth.
Scott and Don, one trustee saying tonight that this is their last resort, their last stance. They cannot continue to stand by and see millions of dollars wasted. Tiffany Henyard didn't show up in person, but she was brought up in conversation and a vote.
Motion passed for resolution number 24-002, calling for investigation of Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
The 4-trustee majority voting unanimously to call for an investigation into Henyard and what they say is the misuse of funds. Henyard became mayor in 2021, and for at least 2 of the 3 years, Fox 32 has been reporting on allegations of corruption in her capacity as mayor and Thornton Township supervisor. Concerns have led to trustees calling special meetings to get things done.
This meeting is an attempt for this legislative board to save Dolton.
They voted on items including asking for receipts for the mayor's trips and getting keys to Village Hall.
This has been a stain on our community. It's no way that we should be locked out of a place where we pay taxes.
Residents in attendance approving of the board's stance.
This has to stop. She cannot continue to intimidate and gangster her way through this.
We're not giving up because we refuse to let Tahoe Tiffany take our community.
The grown-up thing would be for her to resign. Just get out of here, leave town. But she's not going to do that. You have disgraced this entire village and also disrespected each and every one of us.
Honey, now listen, did you see Dan Abrams' face? He chuckled when she said she hoped the feds come and get her. Listen, when she found out that recall did not work, she turned on some stupid ain't no stopping us now disco 70s funk music in the damn town hall, laughing and joking, thinking that was cute. This woman is a menace to the people of Dolton, and I don't know what is taking the FBI so long to come and grab her. Cannot wait for them to lock her the hell up. This is a person who has lived in this town her entire life. Can you even imagine bankrupting your hometown? No way. I come from a very small town, and everybody there knows everyone, and everyone there are such hardworking, kind, loving people. There's no way I could see myself robbing my own people.
The village of Dolton is more than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today she's nowhere to be found.
Tara Molina spent the day in Dolton following the investigation into Henyard's spending. Tara?
Jim and Marie, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is the special investigator in this case. And like we first told you last night, not only did she find the village of Dolton is in significant debt, but she also found the village's credit card spending is out of control. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't respond to any of my requests today, and I'm told she's not in the building. A packed community meeting Thursday night, outburst after outburst. Following special investigator Lori Lightfoot's limited examination of Dolton's finances. Her report revealing as of May 31st, the village's general fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. Lightfoot originally hired by trustees concerned about spending, like self-promoting taxpayer-funded billboards, ads, plus spending on lavish dinners and trips.
Why are we going to these places? What's happening here?
Dolton trustee Brittany Norwood sat down with the CBS News Chicago investigators in February, telling us then trustees were denied requested bank statements.
You're having the same reaction that we did when we saw her.
with credit card spending out of control.
Receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided.
Lightfoot further uncovering spending that doesn't add up. The report shows $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in one day, money that's unaccounted for.
These are somebody using one of the credit cards.
Another question lingering here, money spent on police overtime, with 2 officers racking up 6 figures in pure OT, $108,000 and $114,000. The deputy chief, just fired here last week, Louis Lacey, paid $96,000 in overtime.
The village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance.
Across the village's 6 credit cards that Lightfoot has been made aware of, receipts for purchases are, quote, rarely provided, unquote. In just one day, 3 transactions were made on Amazon, one for $33,000, another for $4,700, and a third for $5,600. Another significant purchase that stands out, nearly $7,700 spent at Wayfair, and that is only scratching the surface. Community members were shocked to learn that at least 589 checks amounting to over $6 million were approved and printed but never sent to vendors. Henyard, a no-show for tonight's highly anticipated meeting, and attorneys for village trustees say she has changed the locks at Village Hall once again.
$40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face to everybody that reside in 60419 zip code.
I know how I felt when I started seeing these numbers, so I can imagine how all of you are feeling after all this time being in the dark. There are a number of other things we know, but we aren't ready yet. We got to verify in 20 ways from Sunday.
Here is proof for everyone to see, and even the ones who doubt us. If you don't see through this, there's nothing I can say to you. February of 2025, clean house. Clean house.
Also of note, the police department's expenditures have increased $1.6 million since fiscal year 2022. Since that time, former Deputy Chief Louis Lacey has taken home roughly $215,000 in overtime when he wasn't eligible for it. 2 other officers, Lightfoot says, made more in overtime than their base salaries. The details of tonight's report leaving community members infuriated.
My reaction was I am devastated. I am devastated that this woman came in to our town and spent all of our tax money. We have senior citizens that can't even afford basic necessities.
I suspected it all along. Tiffany needs to be locked up. She needs to be made an example out of, that she cannot go around using our money and spending it however she wants to spend it, like the job come with a cash register.
And we are told this is just the tip of the iceberg. More reports are expected to come as Lightfoot and her team continue to investigate and look into more alleged misuse of funds, including 2 separate trips to Las Vegas. Henyard did not return our request for comment tonight.
All right now, so Lori Lightfoot came in there with her accounting team and they started the investigation. And she says that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more, but they don't have all the records that they need, but they are going to continue to dig. So they found out that the village has used at least 6 credit cards, including 4 by the police department, 1 that has statements addresses to the village administrator, and another one statement address is to the village per the report. The shocking figures that include the purchases from Amazon that total up over $40-some thousand were all done on one day in January. Not only the $12,000 that was spent at Best Buy, Target, Walgreens, and Wayfair. Police costs have jumped 21% in the last 2 years, with police overtime spiking by nearly $880,000. The average monthly expenses in the village have jumped 30% since the fiscal year of 2022. Also, Lori Lightfoot noted that the village general fund, which is used to pay most of Dolton's expenses, has a negative balance of $3.65 million as of May 31st. In April 22, it had a surplus of $5.61 million. Since March of 23, the village has struggled to pay their bills because they don't have the cash. It has gotten so bad that the fire departments, they don't have money going into their pension and they don't have insurance. Now that is enough to cause panic and fear and tears. The people that you need the most in town are the police, the fire, and the emergency medical people. You need all of that. You are telling me that you are out here living your best damn life, hiring DJs, bitch better have my money, DJ in the background, talking to all the citizens, but you are not paying the insurance for the fire department. You are not giving the firemen their pension. This is crazy. I need the handcuffs on this woman ASAP. I was happy to hear about the FBI criminal probe into her and her spending, not only for Dolton, but also for Thornton Township. On top of all of that, she had her security detail rent 3 Tahoes, those really nice SUVs, at an extremely high interest rate. By the time their lease is up, Dolton would have spent almost $800,000 of the people's tax money for those SUVs. That is absolutely deplorable. I don't understand how she became mayor. I do understand that when she was running for mayor, she did give away free gas at gas stations around town. Maybe the free gas is what convinced people to vote for her. I do realize that at one point the news said that she was nowhere to be found. She was still in town because the next day she had this, quote, free back to school event for all of the children in Dolton. There were people that showed up and they were supporting her, but the thing is, it's not free. Yes, she's giving you hot dogs and hamburgers, book bags, and school supplies. They are saying that those school supplies came from the Dolton mayor's office, that those are their office supplies. They're also stating that all of those book bags and everything like that, the hot dogs, the candy, the little blow up castles that the kids are jumping in, having a good time, it is not truly free. The taxpayers are paying for that. She is not giving you anything for free. And while she's down there posting on social media, look at what your super mayor is doing for you. We've got hot dogs, we've got cotton candy, we've got book bags and crayons and all of these things, and it's free for you. Free for you. She's wearing a pair of $600 Chanel glasses. Get out of here with this shit. Why is she still there? Why is she still in office? Why is the governor of Illinois not doing anything about this? When the news asked him about it, he said he did know what was going on down there, but he decided to, keep his hands off of it for now because the FBI is investigating. I need the FBI to hurry up. I did see also that one of her favorite trustees, who always votes in her direction and also was a part of that bike ride for that Tiffany Cares Foundation, who was getting money funneled from the taxes of the people into her foundation, has also been arrested for some sort of fraud, and the FBI is trying to work him as a witness as well. Listen, the more people that the FBI can get to flip on her, the better. And the sooner for the people of Dolton, the better. This woman is a con artist liar. Who the hell walks into one of their council meetings dressed like Nino Brown with a DJ playing Bitch Better Have My Money by Rihanna? Who does that? She is a clown. This township and this village is being ran by the village idiots. I am disgusted by this. I just cannot imagine my mayor of my town coming into a meeting acting stupid like this. The people don't want you. You've gotta go. You gotta go. And I hope that you go wearing some real fancy bracelets and leg shackles. I cannot wait for this woman's trial. When she goes to trial, I might actually drive down to Dolton. I'm just saying. I could be up to Dolton. I suck at directions. Anyway, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Are you sick of her like I am? I do not do politics on this channel, but this lady has to go. Oh my God, I'm sick of her. All right, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.